My ghost story began when I started working at the Snow Hill Country Club in New Vienna, Ohio. When I was young, we heard of the place being haunted, but I never really took any interest into it, nor did I really believe until I first started working there. The biggest thing that changed me was probably the fact that you always felt like somebody was watching you. You always felt like somebody was breathing down the back of your neck. My first big experience was when I had set up one of the dining rooms for a big event and walked back in to find that all the silverware I placed on the tables had been moved all around. I had no clue what was going on. I thought somebody was playing a prank on me, but there was no one else around. One night, the chandelier actually started to move.
It was swinging. I mean, it was really swinging.
No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, it is.
Then it would stop, and it would spin back the other way.
There is no reason for that chandelier to be swinging.
It was swinging.
It's still swinging. Look at it.
It's definitely a creepy feeling. You get chills automatically.
Calling it a creepy vibe, it's one way to put it. It's a much bigger sensation than that. You know when you're walking into a situation that's haunted.
While I was there, they were having these events. Basically, they would tell people a little bit of the history and give them a little tour. I'd get pictures as soon as the tours were over. We had a lot of people that would get missed. Just really strange, like smoky-looking figures, stuff like that were showing up in pictures that we couldn't explain. When I took over the tours, Shelly came on board with me. She specializes in EVP, which is recording ghost voices on audio tape. Voices that we couldn't hear, but as soon as we would stop and play back tape, it was clearly recognizable.
I haven't always been interested in ghosts and the paranormal. I've just experienced things that I can't deny or explain, so I took steps to look further into it. I used a camcorder, plain old cassette tapes, tape recorder, and my process is simple. I do not expect to get evidence without asking for it. So I walk around and ask questions and expect answers. We're getting nowhere. Eventually, I just demanded, "What are you?"
She was getting EVPs left and right.
We got to the point where we couldn't go into a room without getting an EVP. You could count on hearing from this or that spirit. A woman upstairs saying hush. A child playing on the bed upstairs.
She was bringing tapes to me that I could not even imagine was going on around me. After we had had many tours, it seemed like all of a sudden a very negative, more aggressive entity was taking over. It wasn't somebody watching you anymore, it was someone staring you down.
This oppressive, dark, sinister bastard thing had infiltrated our beautiful country club, and all of these benign presences were silent. They were gone. On an evening when we were doing an overnight, we were in the bar, and there was this odor. It was disgusting.
I was actually holding a video camera when Shelly asked me, "Do you smell that?"
Oh, it's on my nose. It's like that skunky, nasty.
Oh my freaking gosh.
What?
Don't move.
And you see something come towards me.
She captured a ball of light entering the bar from the parlor room doors and snaking up behind us.
Oh my freaking gosh.
What?
My first reaction was, what the hell?
Don't move. Don't move.
And then it was gone. And that's probably the creepiest part of it, is you didn't know when it was gonna be back.
I was very afraid.
One evening, I was working during an event, and the alarm kept going off, which was a frequent thing, except for the fact that it wasn't set. So I walked over to it, and it said, "Motion detected, men's locker room." So not thinking anything of it, I walked into the men's locker room. Went over to the back door and I pushed it a couple times and jiggled it, nothing. And as soon as I turned around, it was like something knocked the wind right out of me. I couldn't think, I couldn't talk. All I did was panic and took off running. And that was the first time anything had physically happened to me. It kind of felt like something had personally attacked me.
After Stefanie was hit, I was terrified. She's small, for one thing, and she was alone. And she was knocked down to the point where she could have been harmed. You know, that's not something to ignore. It's something to be very concerned about. And yeah, I was scared.
Because of everything that was going on at the club, Shelley decided it was probably best that we investigate what was actually going on.
We started asking questions, and the response was brutal. It was immediate.
The stuff that was coming across her speakers was a creepy, mean voice that we had never heard before. It was threatening, get out, this is my place, I've taken this over, you're not welcome here anymore.
The voice didn't sound like a human being. The voice sounded very much like what an animal would sound like if it could speak English. It thrives off of fear. The more scared you are, the more it can freak you out, the better for it.
One time it even went as far as to say that it was the devil.
And then all of a sudden there was thumping and banging from all sides of the room. It seemed to be coming everywhere at once.
We were very, very creeped out. We thought we were all getting personally attacked at that point.
We were terrified. We turned on the lights, the banging continued, it got louder, it got closer, and then it stopped. All of a sudden,
It just went away, it was gone.
I don't believe that it had any more ability to harm us other than making empty threats and smacking somebody. It just phased itself out, and I'm glad.
After that, everything that was happy and joyous about the place was back. This poem was written by the woman that put the golf course in. It kind of summed everything up about why we still had activity going on there. But time has changed with the passing years. Old friends are gone who gathered here, but we who are left bless the one who willed that we meet again at Old Snow Hill.